And now, here with another designated podcast are Teddy and JJ.
Hi, everybody. We're coming to you from the Designated Riders North headquarters, hard by, well, mainly because they have a pool, the Designated Riders North headquarters. I'm JJ Marshall.
Teddy Allen.
And we are in various states of enjoying the summer right now. It is relaxing. It's the middle of June. Lots of stuff's been going on. And then we look forward to the nothingness of sports, which is getting ready to hit. But you know what? That's what summer's all about. I mean, there's all sorts of things flying out there. The College World Series is going on. NBA Finals just over with. U.S. Open's just over with. And, of course, the NFL never stops. They're always breaking down the Seahawks, defensive backfield. So we're not here to do hardly any of that.
Well, we're not going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks.
No, we made a vow not to do that.
JJ, in the middle of work day I am, and you're kind of in the middle of a work day. You're off now until 5. When you do your show, Sports Talk.
11:30 the Tiger.
5 to 6 weekdays. So excellent.
Thanks for the plug.
Excellent, but just so good. Well, it's mediocre, but it's fun. Give it a listen. It's great. But you mentioned the College World Series. The coach of Florida State, whose name is
Mike Martin.
Mike Martin. And would you rather win? He's gone to 17 in 45 years. He never won it, but it is so hard to get there. Would you rather go to 17 in 45 years and not win, or go to 1 in 45 years and win? And you have decent teams the rest of the time. It's hard.
I'm going to say that's tough. I'm going to say I'll take the 1, but it's close. It's close because the cumulative effect of going 17 times, if you add those together, might be more than 1. But then again, they're also rife with disappointment in there somewhere.
Correct.
That's still an undercurrent.
I would do 17 just for the experience of those 16 other teams that they would have. I mean, I'm going to be there all 45 seasons.
Yeah, that's true.
But I would want those 16 to go, even though, the next best thing to playing and winning is playing and losing. And it's a big chasm between those two things. But that is the next best thing. Anyway, it's a tough call.
You've had a number of occasions to go to Omaha. Let me add mine up. 0.
Okay.
Actually, I've been to Omaha, but during the dead of winter. But you've been for the College World Series in the old place.
Right. It's weird. It's been like 25 years at least since I've been. It was in the old Rosenblatt.
Yeah, describe to the great populace out there listening to the Designated Podcast.
Well, this isn't meant to be ugly, but when I was out there, I mean, there were some big women there. That's one thing I noticed, is everybody was bigger than me.
Yeah. And I'll also say they're friendlier than you, probably.
They were very nice.
Friendly people.
They were very nice. Everything was off. It was just kind of getting going to where it was a big thing. When LSU got good.
Yeah.
Because I was covering LSU back when Skip Bertman arrived and changed the mindset, and college baseball fans in Louisiana should probably send him roses every day because he did get people thinking differently about college baseball.
Could mix in another kind of basket other than roses. I mean, they could get tired of that, of the roses every day.
Maybe, something else.
Chrysanthemum or something.
Or some peaches, just anything. Corn.
Yeah.
Some corn. But that was when the format was different.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Stanford kid homered off LSU to send LSU home.
Opposite field, left field.
But I went, secretly, because we'd been up there like 17 or 18 days because of rain out.
Yeah.
And I hated to do that because if you cover people, you get to know them. If I'd have been covering Stanford, I'd secretly been pulling them and it's a better story.
But time to go is time to go.
It was time to go, man. We've been up there a long time. But now they've, done it to where they can't go on and on and on, Harry High School. But everybody was extremely friendly. The place was packed. In that old park, you can get a home run anytime. So you can't get that in the new place.
Yeah, hardly at all.
But I don't like it being in the new place.
But what about the color and pageantry and the folks in Omaha? I mean, is it unlike any? Is it like a bowl game? Only last 15 days,
with
or what?
With a lot less jits because everybody's got it. There's lots of different teams to have a bowl game, just 2, So lots of people are there enjoying it, but they don't have a rooting interest till tomorrow when their team plays or something like that. It's the way I remember it. And again, this is 30 years ago, so I'm sure it's a lot more of that now. It was just getting its legs. And the thing I remember most, the first time I was in Rosenblatt Stadium, in the press box, and somebody was knocking on the glass in front of the press box. I looked up, it was Peter Gammons. And he was going,
Looked like Andrew Jackson on
I
a
could read his
$20 bill.
lips. How do you get in? And I'm thinking in my head, how many go to an end of a press box,
Right.
and that's where you'll get
That's
in.
usually where you get in.
So I went like this, waved at him, like I'm following him. So I go to the door. He was very appreciative.
Sure. Well, who wouldn't be?
Yeah, so he'd had to sit out there in Section AA if I hadn't been
Right.
at the World Series. So thank God I was.
Well, you performed a valuable service there.
I think I did. I remember one kid from the University of Texas who was a left-hander, and I can't remember what his name is. He did not get to the big leagues, but every time he would throw his curveball, he was a cocky dude. He'd go deuce. when
Yeah.
he was throwing, but I can't remember the dude's name.
I thought it was Richie Lewis.
Maybe it was. Could have been. Was he Florida State or
It was
Texas?
Florida State, though.
Might have been Florida State then, and that could be actually be who was.
And since we know that they didn't win it that year because they never won it. So as it goes on.
But he was one of the 17 teams that won.
All right.
And everybody's told me if you get a chance, go. I know a lot of people in Ruston and in Shreveport, a couple people in Shreveport, who go once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a good chance LSU's going to be in it. That's another reason they planned that trip.
What'd you think of the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was very entertaining. When I was listening to Sports Talk the other day, the guys on there said it wasn't riveting, and I agreed with that. But
Right.
I wasn't going to leave watching it.
No.
One mistake. The thing is, they just kept making shots. They had
Right.
their recovery and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it was interesting from just a golf guy's point of view, of the amateur like myself, who, as you know, often struggles, how Justin Rose just got so loose and he couldn't really get it. He couldn't get it figured out.
Right. It's a thin line, man.
Yeah, now he dropped 3 or 4 strokes in the U.S. Open. He's a professional, so he still was off the charts, good, but he just couldn't.
Yeah.
So he had to battle and struggle like me or you, trying to figure it out, you know. That was fun. And then Koepka, if he hadn't cooked that long iron coming in there.
Could have been a different ball game.
Yeah, and he had a chance to make 1 or 2 shots, but the other guy matched him, and so when
Just
it's
made
just
more
1 or 2
shots.
strokes.
Right. He just
what are you
made
gonna
more
do?
shots. What about do you mind it coming on at night? I mean, because of the West Coast and they show it during prime time for us.
It worked out better for me.
Okay.
It worked out better for me time-wise because I knew, oh, crap, they just started, so I can do this and that and then
Yeah.
watch the home stretch. I loved it, and I loved to be at Pebble Beach because of the information you've given me about that course. And I'm glad that guy won. That guy, who am I thinking of? Gary Woodland.
Kelly Woodland.
A friend of mine in Topeka has covered him like you would have covered David Toms or something like that. So, you know, at the Masters every year, Brent, my buddy's really rooting for Woodland, and he's not done well the last 2 years. I think 2 years ago he had a sniff and faltered on the weekend, but then this year he did really bad. So I was happy for Brent, and he's watched him play since he was a kid. And he's supposed to be a real nice guy who's in the Topeka Hall of Fame. He's the first guy ever in the Topeka Hall of Fame to win Masters.
Yeah. U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open, I'm sorry. Right. I don't know if any Topekan has won the
I don't
Masters.
think so. Skipping around here, I know it's kind of a repeat of what we wrote about in the Daily Happen, but Father's Day was coming up a few days ago, and I got to tell you, it's life-changing for me.
When I saw the picture,
The robotic-
I knew what was happening.
The robotic vacuum cleaner.
Go to designateriders.com. Click on the Daily Happen, then click on Post, and you can see it. It's in the archives. But it's a tiny.
It's
Implement
not
looks like
tiny. It's bigger. It's bigger than you
So
think
like
it is.
3 or 4.
It's like a big. It's like a
fire
cake.
alarm.
It's like a cake.
Cake size.
Cake size.
And the way JJ explains it, it just goes around your house.
Push a button. Right.
This was the most amazing thing. By the way, the pictures of the cat looking at it,
Right,
was it
like,
Laverne or
it was
Shirley?
Laverne.
Okay. Looking at it, trying to, I don't know.
Right.
So as long as it doesn't get near my food, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Is what you said when the thing realizes it's about to run out of gas, pulls up into its own service station.
Opens up the garage door, pulls in. I mean, I did it last night, and I said, "Oh, I haven't heard it in a while." And I walk up there, it already shut it down for the night.
Okay, taking the rest of the day off,
Yeah.
smoking one,
out of
having
battery.
smoking if you
Had
got
his
them.
feet up on the ottoman, and was chilling. No, I don't know how much of it I can't live without. I love it. My carpets have never been cleaner, and I've never done less work.
And you
Is
have
more
cats,
importantly.
so that's important.
And I got cats, and they got hair everywhere. But it's more of a. I mean, how do we live without it? Yes, but it's more of who thought of this?
It's just a fascinating
Who
piece
put
of-
this together? And how does it know? I
And
mean,
I tell you what, it was a guy like you one day said, by God, I'm tired of vacuuming.
Right.
So he went and got some tools and wires and just started, I'm going to sit here and figure this out.
Absolutely amazing.
And it just bounces also, goes under the bed.
Yeah, it doesn't run into anything, kind of senses that's a chair leg. All right, spins 45 degrees or so, goes on to the next deal.
It's the thermos jugs of electric.
Right. How does it know when it's hot? How does it know when it's cold?
Speaking of things we love, you got any more vacuum stuff?
No, that's it on vacuum cleaners.
I know one of your children gave it to you.
It was a group effort, although one of the 33% of them said out loud, I thought we were giving them golf balls.
Okay. And you would have expected that.
Sure.
But this is a much better
Does
gift.
entitle us? Sure.
This is a much better gift.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think this is a tailor-made appliance, isn't it?
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
You need to come over and watch it. I'm
No,
telling
I'd
you.
love to.
I'm
I'll
telling
go
you.
over and sit with Laverne and give it a watch.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it. It makes no noise, practically.
You can hear it. I mean,
Little
but when it goes underneath the bed, it's like it's gone away.
It's out. I was looking inside for my favorite ink pen, and I've misplaced it.
Oh,
I've come across,
I know that feeling.
I've come across this, and it's the something slider. I've even bought a couple for guys, and I'm
I remember you touting it one day.
The blue, it's Columbia blue, and then so I had to get this backup pen. Nothing against this pen. But it's in there somewhere.
Are you a thick handle guy or a thin?
This is about what would you call that?
That's medium size. Yeah,
I'm a little bit bigger than medium.
I love a big, thick,
juicy.
Yeah.
Right. This I like it a little bigger than this.
Strangely enough, I don't like the big, thick, juicy handles on the putter, though. I see these guys with these gigantic
I've got
soup
one.
cans they got
I've
out
got
there.
one I'm fixing to put on.
Don't get it. You've got reasons for yours.
Right. I'm having some jits woes right now. If anybody's got any cure for that, designated writers.
Right.
Attention,
whatever. Teddy.
Right.
Attention, the guy with the shakes.
Learned something today I didn't know. Speaking of fascinating inventions, a guy named Earl Silas Tupper. You ever heard of that dude?
Well, I would assume he invented the ware.
He did. He invented Tupperware as a young man in his early 30s, worked for DuPont in around World War II, started selling it right after World War II. And he hooked up with this lady who was saying, hey, I'm doing parties at my home. This is knocking them out. So he made her a vice president.
Okay.
Parties all over America. For early 60s, the guy sells it for $16 million to
DuPont or something?
No, Rexall.
Okay, whatever.
But the story is, here's where it gets weird. And that's back when 16 million meant something.
Count something, yeah.
Right. He divorced his wife, renounced his U.S. citizenship, so he had to pay taxes, bought an island off the coast of Costa Rica.
Okay.
Boom. Hung there till 83 when he punched out. But he basically checked out. Man.
Right.
I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Right. Well, the guy who invented the robotic vacuum cleaner, he ought to be looking into some land in the Pacific himself.
Hopefully it'll happen for him
Right.
because I'd love to have one of those
Right.
things. Anyway, Sunday in the Times, there's more to the story, but he just, man, once he made the sale,
That's it.
I'm checking out.
Ball game.
You can have the Tupperware, Miss Tupper, and I'm gone. That's cold-blooded, man.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the podcast. We'll try to be a little more regular. Well, in many ways, but in this case,
no question.
a little more regular on the podcast, and we appreciate you listening.
Happy summertime.
And we'll holler at you soon.
See ya!